I'm Renee, a retired educator turned wine bar conversationalist. This is Conversations Over Wine, where wisdom is poured and stories are shared. Each week we slow down, pour a glass, and talk about life's lessons, aging with intention, and what really matters as we grow older. I'm so glad you're here today. Let's begin. So for today, I have a special guest with me. It's my best friend, Karen, and we want to talk a little bit about our 16-year friendship and what has held that together over the years. You know, sometimes friends are in our lives for a season, and there's a glue that holds that together, such as your job, or could be sports or some other shared event or activity in life. And that's good. It's good to have friends that are there for a season. But it's also super special when you have someone in your life that weathers all of those seasons. And so today we want to talk a little bit about the glue that has held our friendship together for over 16 years. So I'm super excited that my friend Karen is here. And so we're going to touch on a few different things today with our friendship. And there's going to be a lot of just ad-libbing, talking, going through different things of our lives. And we hope you guys will be able to take some things away from this about lasting friendships. We're going to talk about how we met. We're going to talk about the storms that our friendship has weathered, fun shenanigans, memories that will last forever. We're going to talk about what we love about each other, which is one of the main things that has held us together. We're going to talk about challenges of friendships, and then wrap it all up with maybe a little bit of advice, things that we have learned that we would like to share about friendship at the end. So, again, my friend Karen is here today. Hello, Karen.
Hello. Good to be here.
Yay. All right, so let's talk about how we met. So, as I said earlier, we have been friends for, around 16 years.
Yep.
So, that's a long time. Don't know exactly. It might be 17, but...
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay, maybe 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were Alexa's teacher, and it was parent-teacher night, so we got to meet, and I think we just right away hit it off. We just... I loved how sweet you were. I loved that Alexa loved you. I loved that you were a great teacher and you were encouraging her to read. And I thought I was excited to meet you and to meet her other teachers. But I think the first thing was just your kindness. You're so down to earth. And then we found out our older daughters, were friends. And
yes.
That was just the beginning. So I just remember leaving thinking, she could be my friend. I liked her. I really liked her.
Yay.
She was cool.
I love that. I felt the same way. I was like, oh my gosh, I love this woman. Like there's something warm and inviting about her. And, you just click with some people.
Yes, click.
Yes.
That's the beginning.
Yes.
Click.
And then, like you said, we found out our oldest daughters were, developing a friendship. They're the same age. And so then we kind of took it from there.
Yeah. Yep. And we had many years of those two. Just, the craziness of Bree and Maddie.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes.
And they were always fun. I just have really, really funny memories of them too.
Oh my gosh. Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we'll get into that in another episode, but our oldest daughters they're a hoot. But yeah. So that's how we met. I was her younger daughter's fifth grade teacher. And so we met at the conference and then developed our friendship. So still going strong all these years later.
Yeah, I think we went for wine or something the first time and just chit-chatted and got to know each other more. So
absolutely. All right, so that's how we met. And just like with lots of friendships, sometimes there are intentional meetings where, maybe somebody wants you to meet, and so you become friends that way, or maybe it's just accidental, you run into somebody, or, however it can be. Sometimes we just meet people and we click, and sometimes we don't, and that's all right. All right, so let's move into the next thing, which with any friendships, like some of the storms that we have weathered, not storms between us, but just, when you've been friends this long, then, each of you goes through different things in your life.
Yes.
And we definitely have through our friendship. The way our lives looked when we met is very different from how it looks right now. So
yeah, we've both gone through divorces.
Yes, we have.
And they were tough, real tough. We have just been there for each other. I just remember, calling, and I my favorite thing about having this kind of friendship is to be able to call and there's not a thing you wouldn't drop for me.
Absolutely.
Vice versa. And I remember one of those times in one of those storms where I needed to come, and it was going through the divorce, and we sat outside, and you didn't fix anything, you just listened and didn't judge, didn't.
Yes.
And it's such a safe place.
Absolutely. Those words right there, I think, is one of the beauties of our relationship is our ability. Yeah, we give each other advice sometimes because that's what sometimes we're seeking from each other. But sometimes we just need to be able to talk in a safe place.
Yes.
And with each other, it is very safe because we know, what we have to say to each other. If it's just between us, it stays between us, and we don't judge each other. That is definitely something I wanted to talk about today, and we can circle back to that later. But just that we give each, and it's not something we have to say is that you're here in this safe place. It just has happened naturally, and we've continued to feel that. That's why we continue to seek each other out when our hearts are heavy.
Right.
Because we know each other, at least I know I feel that way. I can always come to you. And, with divorce, everybody knows how difficult that is. And there's so many moving parts to that. And so being able to open up and share and process all of that is golden.
Yes. Challenges with our kids. I mean, we've had, things we've dealt with that. And again, just always being there, running to each other when in that time of need, to be there, even if it's just to stand by each other and just have your presence. So
yes,
that's what kind of friendship we have.
100%. Yeah. Yes. And if you have children, do know there will be challenges, or you already know that there are lots of challenges, and we love them, but they can definitely push us to our limits at times, and we have both been through that and held each other's hand through some of the most challenging parts of that. And
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so talked a little bit about divorce as a challenge, and with the kids, and just life, just enduring your job or your profession, and just the daily things. Sometimes you just want to tell your best friend just something stupid or something that really made you mad or aggravated you. And when you're with somebody and you have a friendship, where you can say that and just know, like, I don't know how many times I'm like, the only person I can say this to is Karen, because she's gonna laugh with me or cry with me, or just, and you know, I don't feel like, sometimes we have thoughts that we don't want anybody else to know.
Yes, some of those thoughts, most people would have called 911 or the police.
For sure. But we can say them to each other. Sometimes we preface our conversations with, there's nobody else I can say this to. And then we'll say it. And then it's like, okay, I got that off my chest. And I feel better. You know, you don't have to just push it under the rug. You can speak your mind about this or that. So sometimes those challenges are just little daily things.
Yes.
And, you know, I know some, you know, I'm semi-retired now. I don't have as many stressors from work, because working at the wine bar is just amazing and fun. But, you know, you're still going through some of those challenges at work. And
hellish days.
Days, yes. And it's so nice to be able to just, you know, share how you feel about certain people and know you're not going to be judged or any of that. So, yeah, all kinds of different challenges that'll come up in in your life, and you can just being able to share them safely with another person.
Yes.
Because sometimes there's things you can say to your best friend that you might not even say to your spouse.
Yes.
Or your significant other. Now, sometimes it's about them. So you probably shouldn't be saying it to them.
Let's take a drink.
Yeah, let's take a drink right now to that one. Okay, we'll take a pause. Anywho, but sometimes there's other things that you just don't want to say to them, even if it's not about them. And so it's good to have somebody in a different position.
Good, very good way to say it.
Yes,
that's true.
Absolutely. So those are some of the challenges that each of us have faced in our lives that we have used our glue to endure. I'd also like to chat a little bit about like what we love about each other, because if you've had a friendship for as long as we have, then there's got to be a reason for that. There's got to be certain things about each other that have...
Yes. I mean, so we'll spend maybe 4 hours at brunch at times. And my husband will say, what on earth do y'all talk about for 4 hours?
I know.
And I honestly don't have an answer, because I really don't know for sure. I think back, like, what did we talk about? Well, everything under the sun, and then some.
That's it. And then we're always like, oh my gosh, we have to stop. And it's not even like we never run out of things to say.
Right. And it goes back to we can say anything.
Yes.
And
so we do. That's it. We do. And we do. And we do for 4 hours. And then we're like, God, and, we got to go. But still so much more to say.
I think times in our life right now, how we're on a little bit of a different plank, with you being single and me married, and we have to carve out that time. So when we do get it, we really get it. We take it.
Yes, it's like this precious little gift.
Right.
And we're like, oh my God, like we can't, we just get so excited and we can't wait to start it.
Yes.
And then we're sad when we have to end it.
Yeah. So, and I just, so those lunches and those brunches they're so special to me. They really are. More than you probably even know. I just love those times, and we don't get them as often as we'd like, and someday we will get more, I think. And
we get more now than I think, and that just, I know this is a little bit all over the place, but it also leads me to the thought that, there have been times that we haven't spoken as much, not for any reason like a difficulty between us, but more just like life.
Yes.
So there's, It's not like through 16 years we've been able to talk every day or something. There have been certain, valleys we've been in or hills we're climbing or whatever, where I might not speak to you for a couple of weeks.
Right.
And we still made it through that.
Yeah.
I mean, there were certain times where it was pretty spread out.
Yeah.
I mean,
and sometimes it's just a text, like a kissy face text.
Yes.
Thinking of you, love you.
Absolutely.
And it's just...
And we don't take it personally.
Not at all.
I think that is an important point as well, as we have learned to just say, this is not about anything between us. It's just you've got all this going on, or I've got all this going on, or we both do. And for some reason, we've just always been able to...
We've always have that in our... And we know that if you did need me, I'd be here.
Absolutely.
Vice versa.
Absolutely.
And it's, again, I think it goes back to that safe place. It's a safe place that we have with each other.
And I think that's a wonderful point, because we need a circle of safety around us. We need friendships in our lives, which both of us have, not only with each other, but also with other friends, where we know that what we say is safe and under lock and key, and we need to be able to feel that way in our friendships.
Yes, absolutely. And it's just great to have, somebody that you can call up and just do silly things with. I mean, safety is one thing, silly is another. I love that part. We have the silly side of our friendship too, where we can just go to a John Mayer concert and just have a ball one night. And how many of those have we been to, by the way? Like
3 or 4?
Yeah.
If he comes, we go, right?
Yeah, if he comes, we go. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. You just know it.
Yes.
When I see certain concerts, I know I'm going with you before we even buy a ticket.
That's right. So, you've got the safe place, but you've also got the silly side, the shenanigans,
yes,
right?
The shenanigans.
Yes, like just the fun stuff. And sometimes it might even be like a reel we send each other where we're just like rolling about something.
Yes.
Something somebody has said that we can relate to. So being able to be silly with each other and have fun, because we've gone on trips. It might just be, like you said, like a concert. It might just be something we send each other where we have similar senses of humor, and so we just laugh hysterically. So a good friendship has to have that silly side,
right? The
shenanigans, the fun,
and it is similar. It is the personalities being similar. Maybe that is also the glue, because I've showed reels that we've sent each other to other people, and they look at me like,
"What? How's that funny?"
I'm like, "You really? You don't see? Okay."
You're like, never mind, I won't be doing that again. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So you gotta be able to weather the storms.
Yep.
You've got to be able to have a safe place with somebody. And you have to love who that other person is. Yes. So, with you, when I think about like what it is about you that I love, and we've mentioned the safe place, and we've mentioned the silliness, and we have similar senses of humor, but we are different as well. But I do love about you, I love that you have this optimism and joy about life, which is super important to me. Like no matter what the challenge is, you're always looking for that silver lining. And I love that. The people we surround ourselves with, it's just so important, because it not only is it a reflection of us in some ways, but it also affects us. I mean, it's like if you're around people that are very negative, that are just, very pessimistic and doomsday, that can, even if you're an optimist, that can affect you. You walk away feeling drained instead of, invigorated, and,
absolutely.
You're a fountain, not a drain. And I love that about you. And so when you're talking about your friendships and thinking about what makes them last, really loving who that other person is so important. And those will be the people that you'll have those long standing friendships with.
Yeah.
You've got your joy, you're so optimistic. I love your adventurous spirit too. Like I can say to you, hey, you want to go do this? And if you can make it happen, you will do it.
Yes, spontaneous.
Yes,
our
spontaneity. Yes,
we do have that. We definitely have that similar trait.
Yes,
I think you're right though when you're saying that. It is a different spirit or a different personality that we have. I think when I think about you and what I love about you, the number one thing that comes to my mind always and above everything else is strength. You have shown through your life you're always strong, and because you just keep going. Even though you have gone through hard times, it's like you always find strength, and I love to be with you and absorb some of that strength, because I feel like that is something I lack a little. And our talks, our 4-hour lunches, and give me more strength, and I draw that from you. And I think that you show that to your girls. You exemplify strength to them, and I love seeing that through the years. Your girls are so strong.
Thank you.
And it's because of your strength. And I love that you're the least judgmental person I've ever been around in my life. I love that. It's like you don't judge. You're extremely, what's the word? You put up with a lot, where I like slam the table and tell people to be quiet in a restaurant. You're always very even keeled with that. You don't let things bother you. That's what I'm looking for. You don't let things bother you, and it's just, you just go with the flow. You're so easygoing, very easygoing, and just a fun, happy person to be around. You always, and talk about positivity, you're always very positive. You look at the bright side.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And I also love your love for your family, and just your fierceness. And when we talk about going through things, you have been through some really big things in your life as well, and your resilience and your strength I draw from you as well. Like just seeing that, and you just keep going also, and you face it head on, and you see the silver lining at the end, and you love your family with a fierceness that is just so inspiring, and I appreciate that. So these things that we love about each other, when you think about your friendships and what helps to make them last, it's just like a marriage. It kind of equates to a marriage that you have to love who that person is. That way, if challenges arise like they will, then you fall back on what it is about that person that you love. So we want to maybe share a little advice, just some humble advice of things that we have learned that we think will help you to have those relationships, those friendships that last a long time.
We were discussing a little bit before this podcast about the podcast. One thing we said was, just at some point in our years together as friends, you became on my top level of people in my life. And I thought, what really put you there? And we talked about that, and I don't really have the perfect answer other than all that we talked about just now put you at that top. But the fact that you are there, you'll always be above things in my life. Again, like I said, I'll always be there for you. And just making that decision in your life with people is some of my advice. Is like, it's easy to say no. Sometimes it's harder to say yes to things, but that is one thing I'll always say yes to. And even if it doesn't work in my perfect world, it will still be a yes.
Yes. And I think that's an important point, because we both have to do that. Sometimes we might be tired. It might have been a long week, or we have this going on. But if we can't make one date and time work, we find another. So being intentional.
Yes.
I think you have to be intentional with your friendships. If it's a friendship that you treasure and you want to last, you sometimes have to say yes when it doesn't look perfect in your schedule.
Right. And because sometimes, like we talked about challenges, being there when it might not be important, a thing that is important to me, but it is to you. You know what I'm saying? And then it becomes important to me.
Absolutely. Yes, that makes perfect sense. So that's our first piece of advice, is being intentional. You got to schedule it. You got to, that may sound a little, black and white, like you got to do this, but sometimes you have to in your busy lives. So even if you're like, I don't have time, if it is a friendship that you treasure and you want to cultivate, then you have to be intentional and you have to schedule it. Our next piece of advice is don't take your friend for granted. Mm-hmm. And especially in a long-term friendship, I think that can be a little easier, where you just kind of like, oh, they're my friend, and no matter what. And yes, if they're really in your life, they're always going to be there. But you, just like a spouse or anybody else in your life, I just recommend you don't take them for granted. Remember what a valuable part of your life they are, and love them and care for them, and make sure that they know how important they are to you. One of the things Karen and I always do is we always say, I love you, before we hang up the phone. And it may sound like a little thing, but no matter what happens, I want that to be the last thing that I said to you always, is that you know that I love you, no matter what.
Yep. Absolutely. I agree. And then some other things is not like we talked about before. You don't have to talk every day. It's not even every week in some cases, right?
Right.
But just knowing that that person's always there if you need them. And again, like we said earlier, just to throw a text every now and then to say, hey, thinking of you, love you, hope your week's going well.
Right. It doesn't have to be a 4-hour brunch.
No.
We like those, but sometimes it's just a, hey, how was your Monday? Or just thinking about you. And, that's enough with us, because we know that brunch is coming, or that lunch is coming. And so
we'll just catch up.
We'll catch up. Yeah, absolutely.
And then not always having to give advice, but sometimes just listening, be there to listen, and, let the person vent, and just to be heard,
Yes, for sure. And I know sometimes I have to just, I think sometimes I struggle with that. I just want to, I'm a fixer, or I have been in the past, but I'm working on that trait. But, I know sometimes I just try to read your body language, just try to read what you're saying, and try to evaluate, is she looking for me to share advice, or is she just wanting, to tell me how she feels? And so you really have to kind of really read the other person and see where they're coming from. But
for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the being honest with each other is something else I put down as advice for a long-standing friendship. And I think that is, sometimes that is pretty and sometimes it's not pretty.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've been on the end of not pretty. And I'm still sitting here with her. I love her.
Oh my God. What we mean. is, if you, it's just like, again, like in a marriage or anything else, any type of long-term relationship is sometimes you have to say things in a loving manner.
Yes.
That maybe they don't want to hear.
Yes.
And I guess in my mind, I don't ever want to be that friend that's always just the say yes, say what somebody wants to hear. Right. I hope I'm always gentle. I hope I'm always loving, but I am by nature extremely honest. And so sometimes I have to preface things with, do you want my honest feedback? And otherwise I try to be quiet. Yes. I'm a little scared. Yeah, because I'm not a good faker. I'm not like.
That's another thing I love about you is you're not fake at all. I love that.
If you ask me, I'm going to tell you. Yeah. So yes, always be honest with each other. Yeah.
And then to remember that it's important that you have other friends to fill other parts of your life. Like we talked about earlier, Renee is single. I'm married. I have a group of married friends that I do things with in the neighborhood and have a great time with them. I've met Renee's friends through just her events that she has at her home or things like that, and have really enjoyed getting to know them. And I love that for her because she has such a good group that she can call up and do things with when you don't have when you're married. So she has a great group too.
Right.
And I love that for her.
Yes. And I think that is just pivotal because like when I think about you and your friends that are married, that's a different part of your life. But I love that for you. And I love that because I know you need that part as well. Yes. Like there are certain things they offer to you at this point that I can't because I am single and I don't have a significant other or a spouse or anything to fill that part of your life. And I love you enough that I want you to have that. I can't feel that little particular part and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And that's true friendship, right?
Yes.
Like when you want,
that is true friendship. And I love that for you too. And but what you said in one of your episodes a couple times ago is to dating yourself, and you have that as well, and that is important. I thought that resonated with me so much. I thought I need that. I need to date myself, being married too.
Absolutely, it's not a single thing.
I love that, and so that might look a little different at times. My dating myself is like grabbing a glass of wine when I'm home by myself, which I love that. And I really try to not take those times for granted because they don't happen a lot when you're married. You don't get that alone time. Right. So when you do, you really need to
treasure it.
Yes,
yeah, 100%. Yeah. And just even something that small is dating yourself and feeling, and one of the wonderful things about getting older is you're so much more in tune with yourself.
Yes.
And you really stop and say, what is it that I need? And you're recognizing that sometimes you need that. And
for sure.
Yeah.
And then just the last thing is just remember that some friends are really here for just a season, and others like ours are meant to be treasured and cultivated.
Yeah, absolutely.
For the long haul.
For sure. And I think that's something to really dive into maybe another time, but I think it's easy to think, oh my gosh, this friendship ended, what did I do wrong, or did I choose the wrong friend, or why didn't this last? But I think that that's natural.
It is.
And I would really encourage other people to look at it that way, is that some friendships are there just for a season, and nothing is wrong with that. Like, it doesn't mean anything's wrong with them. It doesn't mean anything's wrong with you. It just means you had a certain glue that held you together. Like, we were talking about, soccer or cheerleading or whatever it was with our kids. And those people were important at that time, and they can still be wonderful humans, but your lives,
took different
paths. They took different paths.
And the nice thing though nowadays is that we have social media, so you can always keep up with them,
right? And, at a distance,
a distance, and just check in, see how they're doing, and that keeps people connected,
Absolutely. And at the level that at this point you're comfortable with. Right. Yes. You don't have to say, oh my gosh, I need, if they're not really in a super important part of your life, you don't have to say, okay, we need to have lunch, or that playing in the back of your head. Because I have that sometimes where I'm like, oh, I haven't seen that person. And, you don't have to do that with everybody. Like some people, you can just kind of, comment on their social media or check in with them every once in a while, and that's really all you need.
Right.
And that's okay. Embracing the fact that not everybody is meant to be there for the long haul.
Right.
But I am very grateful for my friends that have been, and that's a wonderful thing. But the other is also just a natural part of life.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so this was such a great discussion. So I could have Karen on like every week and we could talk about something different. And we were talking earlier before we started the podcast about how we could do a whole episode on the shenanigans, the trips we've taken, and just other things that we've done that have really just been so fun. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for having me on, and I'm so proud of you for doing this.
Well, thank you.
I love listening, and I love being part of it today. So thank you.
Well, thank you for being here. I'm so excited, and I hope you guys will be able to take some of this away and apply it to your own friendships. I just want to thank you guys for being here. I want to thank you guys for listening. And if you enjoyed today's podcast, I would love for you to take a few minutes to like, comment, download the episode. It would mean so much to me. And I want to thank you for joining me as we sipped, savored, and reflected on this beautiful life that we have been given. And until next time, friends, cheers.